Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Rose Deer Hotel and Last Chance Saloon in Wayne, Alberta has been a fixture in the Rosebud Valley since 1913 and has survived numerous high water events over the last century. The flooding occurred in the flooding occurring in the last few weeks was a close call, and other than some damage to the grounds behind this historic business, they are confident they will be ready to return to business after a bit of hard work. To the Minister of Municipal Affairs, what programs, if any, are being made available to businesses and landowners impacted by recent overland flooding?
The Honourable Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question. Obviously, we all know that there's a lot of people dealing with flooding across the province right now, and particularly up north, there's some ice jams that are happening. We have people on the ground in a lot of communities across the province. Alberta Emergency Management has field operations people out there, and Environment and Parks has folks out there. We do have some programs through us in Municipal Affairs, which are the Disaster Relief Program, which comes after, so they take assessments on what has happened and what goes forward. So we're looking forward to continuing to work with municipalities and understanding what they might need going forward.
Supplemental.
Again, Mr. Speaker, given that my colleague from Grand Prairie has asked this question during budget estimates, and given that despite updating her answers previously, and given that flood mapping should be a priority in light of our history, Minister, in estimates in 2016, the Assistant Deputy Minister to Environment and Parks stated there was no update to the 70% completion rate of flood mapping, but there were new studies of priority river systems being done. Now that given we are in 2018, I think it's fair to ask, what is the current completed acreage?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you to the member for the question. And yes, there are updated flood mapping going on. There is updated flood mapping going on, through Environment and Parks. As technology is involved, it's getting more intense, and there are more and more extreme events going on across the province, so there are a lot more factors to take under consideration. So we are doing that, and we will continue making sure that we get it done right the first time.
Second supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, it's a given that flood mapping will be a living document, and sometimes land and waterways change. And given that this is a complex and costly process involving both provincial and municipal governments, Minister, what steps has your department undertaken, or has your department laid out objectives to further achieve a higher level than 70% of Alberta's flood mapping being completed, as I'm sure many affected Albertans would like to know?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you. To the particular question that the member has, I appreciate that. Whatever details that he would like, we could get specifically from Environment and Parks, but I know that we have been working with folks on the ground across the province. As I said, we have been adapting as technology has changed, and we will continue to do that, so we would be happy to get particulars for the member.